Good day, everyone. How's it going out there? Well, I know I'm doing very well today. I want to get straight into this because this one's going to be about the scam mail ultra core. Um, I want to talk about the reasons why I know for a fact it's a scam. There's just too many things to kind of go over, so I'm going to make them as brief as possible. So here I start. One of the first things I'm going to tell you right now, when you call the number, when you're calling it, basically what happens is it goes straight into a voice messaging system that states, thank you for calling Mail Ultracore, blah, 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 blah. But when you call them, sometimes it doesn't even say that. Sometimes it'll skip out and say, oh, Mail Ultracore, blah, blah, blah. And you'll notice that it's never on cue. Except for sometimes it'll actually start from the exact beginning, which is thank you for calling Mail Ultracore, the most advanced, blah, 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 blah. Well, that is supposed to be the whole thing. But it doesn't do that. A lot of times it skips out. And if you've seen my videos before, it does that quite a bit. It does not go straight through the whole thing. So that is number one that I'm going to say about. Number two is there's been a few times, I don't know if it's due to the fact that maybe it has something to do with the fact that I called them a lot, or that they've gotten a lot of, I think, like to put prank calls. But because they get those, they basically, even if it's just a hint of something that might be off for them, they get pissy and they hit me into purgatory. Even if I ask them in just a simple thing about it, and then they're like, okay, we'll put you on hold or something like that, or you can talk to our managers. There's been a few times where I just call back right away without even calling them for a few days, and next thing you know, they send me off into purgatory, which has happened a few times. The next one, that was number two. Number three, they have been kind of rude, maybe due to the fact that I've called them sometimes a lot, or even just on the first time, because I could call after 2-3 days, and they're kind of rude to me, or they'll just say, okay, we'll send you to my manager. Where's the manager? They put me into, like I said before, purgatory. And I suddenly am stuck in purgatory, which is basically, they shoot me off into some kind of system that says, they'll answer you as soon as possible garbage, and they don't even answer you. Basically, they shoot you off into a holding cell, and you're done. That's exaggerating, but that's actually what they do. They throw you off to a holding system with the blah 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 going on, and it's stupid, insane. That's number three. So being rude, that's just crazy. That's not cool. Anyway, the next one, which is number four, I was pretending to one time to be a researcher into the product. They did kind of catch on that it was me because of previous interactions, but I was pretending to be a researcher, and I asked them about why is the website only state to call them if, say for example, I ordered the product and I want to send it back. It says on the actual website that you need to call them or something like that, right? So I asked them, I said, why does it only say that? Why do I have to have an order before I would get that information? Like typically a place that you take product from, a store like Walmart or Costco or even 7-Eleven, if you have an issue with them, they have a number to call, or even an address if you want to write them. But the problem is they refused. They said, okay, we'll send you my manager. Okay, you'll send me to your manager. And then they shoot me off into that purgatory. So this is how I'm talking about it. It connects to what they did before. When they're rude, they send me to that purgatory. And next thing you know, here I am waiting and waiting. And I actually did wait for about 2, 3, 4 minutes. And I kind of called them back and said, what the heck? You guys send me off to your manager. Why am I not getting a call? Okay, sorry about that, sir. And acting all nice and professional. And then they shoot me off again. And they did that multiple times. And I got really annoyed. And I said, screw you guys. You guys are lying to me. I knew they were. But anyway, so that's the thing. Number 5 is They have English and Spanish. Okay, typically it's English and French if you're in Canada or the U.S. As far as I'm aware, in the U.S. I know in Canada, English, French. Probably the same thing when you're in the U.S. But they have English and French. Or sorry, they have English and Spanish. Okay, so maybe they're a little different. Maybe that's why. I called them, when I was calling them numerous times, I asked them, why are you speaking English? I thought this is the Spanish one because I hit number 2. Oh, well, she's not available today. Okay. And I called them and I called them a bunch more times, and I noticed at one point somebody spoke Spanish. Oh, you don't speak Spanish. I thought you're not available. Why are you answering if there's nobody available? They told me that you weren't available. And then she's pretending like she didn't speak English, but yet, okay, why you're like you should have multilingual. Okay, that's typically what a customer service is, multilingual or bilingual, typically. When I actually when I called back the second time after that, she spoke. Oh, she's not available. What? I just talked to her. She spoke Spanish to me. Now you're saying she's not available. And that happened several times. So I noticed that they keep pretending like they don't have a Spanish speaker. A real customer service center would actually either speak one or the other, or both. Typically, if you're familiar, it's one or the other or both. Okay? Typically, as I just said twice before, if you call them, they have a choice. So when I'm having these problems, I notice it's like, this is ridiculous. Okay, so that happens. So that's actually the 2 of the things I was going to say, basically, because I noticed that sometimes they don't have the Spanish speaker. And okay, if you don't have a Spanish speaker, you should get rid of that option for today. Due to some inconveniences, we don't have a Spanish speaker. But typically, if you're in a country where, especially in the United States, because they say they're from Hicksville, New York. And that's also what I'm going to say about, because I just missed that one point. They said they're from Hicksville. You're saying in Hicksville, New York, you don't have a Spanish speaker or several Spanish speakers that you could cover if somebody's not there? You don't have that? It's like saying you don't have enough staff on your floor. Why? Because you don't hire enough staff? So at the end of the day, I just think this is just like ridiculous. Like, you're running a company that's supposed to speak English or Spanish. It's like saying, oh, I don't have enough English speakers, so we're going to put French. You're going to have English only speaking people, or only Spanish people, or whatever the language is. So at the end of the day, you should have a replacement speaker for that language if that's the case. So to me, that's almost evident that it's stupidly scammy or spammy, or what do you want to call it. So those are the top, I believe it was like 5. Technically it's 5 out of 6, but the 6th one is basically the same question. I kind of just added that in there to say, hey, why don't they have a Spanish speaker? But half of the people in there, when I actually talked even to Spanish or English speaking people, they spoke to me, a couple of them in Spanish. So they probably have bilingual people there. Anyway, thank you everybody. If you love this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment on the video, subscribe to my channel. I really hope to make a difference in this community of scam baiters. That's my goal. So have a wonderful day, everybody, and we will see you on the next video. Cheerio.